Hi, it's Garry. Welcome to today's live stream. So how we all doing? This camera looks a bit odd again. I don't know. I keep trying to adjust it. It always looks a bit odd when I first start going. There we go. It's a little bit on the better side. Oh, I can hear my music now, and I can see myself on my... Yeah, and I can hear myself on the preview. So we're cooking on gas. I might as well take my glasses off for a second. I only really need them when I'm going to try and read the screen. It's been an interesting week this week. Been all over the place again. A couple of appointments. Been out and about a couple of days. Been working on my apps. So I've got a new version of my Penlist app. I'm just in my final stages of testing that. So hopefully that should be ready to go in the next week or two. I like to spend about 3 or 4 weeks with it where I'm just using it myself before I release it. So hopefully that'll be coming out fairly soon. Let's look at the temperature. Glasses on, and we'll head over to Safari. Let me get it up first because otherwise OBS doesn't like it. So the current temperature here is 23 Celsius, so that's 73 Fahrenheit or 73.4, and I like my precision. It's very sticky though. We've got quite high humidity. Let me just see if I can see what the humidity level is. Beautiful thing about weather apps, isn't it? Just heading over to the weather on my iPad. Where are we? It's somewhere around here. It's very well. It's saying 54, but I've got to be honest. I think it's more than 54% because it's so sticky. Anyway, let's head to the comments. Let's go back to the camera. Let me just minimize this. So heading up to the top. David, welcome to you, coming in from beautiful Austin, where it's currently 82 Fahrenheit or 27.7 Celsius. Yeah, it's nice to have those nice warm things. We've got Anita. Hello, David, from the Panhandle of Florida. Florida. Can't talk already. Welcome, Anita. Jim, hello from Harper's Ferry, where it got up to 78 Fahrenheit, 25.5. Welcome to you, Jim. David saying hi there to Anita. Tony, hello from Wiltshire, southwest UK. It was 17 degrees Celsius and sunny today, and it's now 11 Celsius at 12:30 a.m. Wow, that's not too bad, is it? Although, yeah, I mean it's getting towards the end of March, so yeah, you would expect it hopefully to be a lot nicer now. I do know that 29 years ago, as of today, where I was in a place called Scarborough, which is in North Yorkshire on the North Sea coast, and we woke up to beautiful sunshine. We had snow halfway through the day, and then that was followed up by rain. So, yeah, all of the weather you could get all in one day. So for Tony and those other ones coming in from the UK, they'll be coming in at a different time there next week because the clock's changed tonight in the UK. David, to Tony, cheers, Tony. Plain Water, welcome to you. Wow, I actually made it early for one of these. Welcome to you, Plain Water. Hope you have fun. David, hey Jim, how you doing? And then we've got a welcome there to Plain Water. Jim, hey back, doing well. Blonde Scales 1, welcome to you, coming in from Arkansas. Welcome to you, Blonde Scales 1. Marcy Me from Texas, welcome, Marcy Me. Let's go here. Tony, hello, David. How are things? I put in a bid on a Mont Blanc 146 today and thought of you and your epic collection. Absolutely. Kiss my evening all. Greetings from Ireland. Welcome to you. Kay Rye, I'm so jealous of all your warm temperatures. It's 37 Fahrenheit or 3 Celsius and raining here in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. I don't know, my poor old mouth. I can't remember the last time I had 3-degree weather. It must have been. Well, the last time we visited the UK, which was about 14 years ago. Here, if it's like 5 when we get up, we think it's very, very cold. Mr. Inky Fingers, hey from Michigan, welcome to you. John, greeting from Manhattan. It's been a crazy day. We had a high of 27, and a few hours later, it's now 8 Celsius. Wow, that reminds me a little bit of Melbourne, when we lived in Melbourne. Over there, I mean, they often say you get all 4 seasons in one day. It's true. We went out for a picnic one year. Well, not for the whole year, obviously. It was a day. Fortunately, not too far from where we lived, and it was beautiful. It was like there, about 27-ish, and about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a massive high wind suddenly came in, and the temperature dropped down to below 10. Wow, that's a big difference there. Blonde Scales 1, 76 Fahrenheit here in Arkansas. Kiss my, good luck with a bid for the Mont Blanc. Absolutely. And then Tony, hello to Kiss my and Blonde Scales 1. Steve, 40 degrees in Salt Lake City this evening. Wow, that's awesome. David, been a member for 5 months now. Wow. I'm celebrating a new Mont Blanc Enzo Ferrari yellow fountain pen. Great characters, SE, with a medium, of course, nib. A picture is posted in Discord. Cool, I'll go and have a look at that later on. Just going to move that keyboard a bit. It's getting in my way. Tony, that's the Mont Blanc I would really like as a car nut. Yeah, I'm not overly into cars. I used to when I was younger. You know, I still like looking at a nice car. If I had the money, the car I would like is a Maserati. But they're silly amounts of money. David, hey there to Blonde Scales. Marcy Me, 78 degrees, 65% humidity, 7:30 p.m. under thunderstorm watch. Yeah, that's one of the nice things over here when we get thunderstorms. Because of where we're located, it must be something to do with the topology. And a lot of the storms never come over us, but they go around us, and you can sit here perfectly dry watching the thunder and the lightning. Well, you can't watch the thunder because that's a noise, isn't it? But watching the lightning, and you get beautiful lightning shows. David, to Tony, did you win the auction? And David, hey Marcy, good to see you. And Tony, nice to see you posting again, Marcy me. Kiss my 1 year picnic. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, it would have been interesting, wouldn't it? A picnic for a whole year. David, to Tony, do you know yet? Jim, I recently won the auction for a French Meteor safety pen, going through US Customs now. I've been quite lucky with Aussie Customs lately. Things have been going through really quick when I've ordered from abroad, which we'll see in a minute. Tony, to David, the auction's still running. I place stealth bids, ends tomorrow. Marcy, David and Tony, thank you so much. Andy, hi, welcome to you, Andy. Marie, welcome to you, coming in from Michigan. Let me do a refresh. Kiss my, I bet that Enzo is fast, reassuringly expensive too. Yeah, I'm saving up for next year's expensive pen, and I am toying with a Mont Blanc. Tony, Garry, I've got bits of Maserati on my Alfa Romeo. Awesome. Blonde Skills 1, the storms, they're skilled at avoiding your area when you need the rain. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I mean, they only go by us like a couple of kilometres. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with us, the rain isn't, I'm going to say it's not that important. The whole suburb is built on sand, so every time we get rain, it just soaks straight through. Although it's good because it then goes into, I can't remember what, into the, I think it's an aquifer, I think they call it. We've got a natural aquifer. So, like, the water for our sprinkler system, that comes through a bore, so we don't actually use water from the actual taps or anything like that. So that's all the comments. So today's talking point, let me just hide that last comment for a second. There we go. I received this during the week. This is the package that I ordered from Appleboom. It arrived on Tuesday. It's still here, unopened. I'm not going to show you the other side because that's got my address on it. I've been really, really good and not opened it. I'm going to do it now. So you don't need to see me cutting open plastic, but here we go. There's the plastic being cut. Right. And that's the bag empty. So here we've got the Appleboom box. Big box for what should be 2 pens. So let's go to the overhead camera. Right, bounce on over. So here we've got the box. Let's see. Well, I think we all know what's in it because I've mentioned it enough times. So just sliced open that bit of sellotape, or sticky tape, or whatever people call it. So we've got here Appleboom, thank you. And then over here we've got various things carefully packed by nobody. There's a couple of the Stroop waffles. They'll go to Elaine. She loves them. And we've got this gorgeous brown paper. I'm just making sure that there isn't anything there that shouldn't be. So the first thing we've got here, this little end thing here. Not sure what this is. Because oh, yes, I do recall ordering it. It's a platinum converter. There we go. Then we got wrapped in this beautiful tissue paper. Let's pop that to one side. Elaine might use that paper for a crafty crap. We'll go for the smaller box first. So in the smaller box, what have we got? I love the way that Appleboom wrap the stuff. The only problem is, what's the first thing you do? You're just ripping it all off, or as I'm going to do, cutting it off. So I can understand why. I mean, presentation-wise, it's really, really good. So in there, we've got a Twisby box. And in here, we've got, if I can get the right way up, sellotape at the ends. I don't know. So slice these as well. Right, hopefully we can get in now. Yep, there we go. So in here, I've got a Twisby Eco. I've just gone for the plain transparent one. Very nice. On here, we've got a medium nib. So that's the Twisby Eco. Look out for first impressions of that coming up later on in the year. I'm going to say the year because it could be a couple of months. I'm not sure exactly when. I'll pop that over to one side. Just put the thing back on. Let's fetch in the other package. So what have we got here? So again, let's get rid of that tissue paper. And we've got the Appleboom paper there. Scissors, where did I put them? I can see them now. Let's open this end. And we'll open this end as well. There we go. So in here, we've got a platinum box. The fact that I had bought a platinum converter should have been a bit of a hint there. So platinum, nice plain box. Let's slide that out. Oops. Just pick that up off the floor. So here we've got a cartridge. What I do with these now is I tend to use these in my preppies. We've got the Platinum warranty card. We've got user guide. Let's put them to one side. Is there anything under the bed? No, that's empty. And here's the main event, the Platinum 3776. This is in black. So cartridge converter pen. Comes with a converter. I've got a spare converter now, so one of the things I do find, because these fit in my preppies, it means I can swap converters fairly easily. And here's why I ordered this pen. Let's see how close I can get there. So here we've got a music nib. So instead of the normal one slit going down, there's two, so we've actually got 3 tines. Hopefully it should be a nice wet writer. So that's the Platinum 3776. Let me just pop this away. Pop that in there. And slide this in. There we go. So that was my delivery this week. I thought I'd just do that on camera. And what I'm thinking of doing is, when I get deliveries going forward, is I'm going to try and hold off opening them so I can actually open them on the camera. Just move this out of the way. I've got my desk fan on, so it's blowing paper everywhere. I do have an order. It should be delivered tomorrow, so if it comes, I'll hold off again opening it. Although I may actually open the packaging because I know Elaine's got a couple of things in there. So I'm guessing they're for this year's My Inky Countdown. So I'll hold off and we'll do an unboxing of that next week. They're 3 pens from India, from a company called Click that I've never had any pens from before. So I've got 3 different pens coming. So it'll be interesting to try them out. And these pens, they range in price from, I think the most expensive is about 85 Aussie dollars. And I think the cheapest was about 7 or 8 Aussie dollars. Really a good range of pens. Oh, sorry, just having a mouthful of tea. Today's mug, I don't think I showed it, is the Mandalorian. Right, let's head back to the comments. Whilst I know I mentioned My Inky Countdown a few minutes ago, I've put in well, not so much a pre-order, but I've put in a booking, so I'm on the list for this year's Colorvent. So that's the Colorverse Inkvent version of the calendar. So Colorvent are doing another one this year, so I've already got my place reserved with Desk Bandit. Really looking forward to that now. I know it's only March and I'm thinking about Christmas already. Isn't that sad? Blonde Skills 1. We currently have a burn ban. Yeah, I bet you do. Because how's it been with California this year? I don't think we've heard as much this year about fires than what we did last year. Ricardo, good morning, afternoon or evening. Welcome to you, Ricardo, coming in from lovely London. Kiss My imagines drumroll soundbite as the bag is opened. I'll have to see if I can find one. Let me just make a note. Drumroll sound. That would be a good idea. I'll have to, see if I can find it. Jim, that must have been painful to wait this long. It was, but it's been a busy week, so it's not been too bad. Yeah, normally I'm like a kid. Every time I get something new, I want to be straight in and using it. What's even better, though, pardon me, I won't be recording the first impressions of either of them for a couple of weeks. So, we'll be waiting a while. I don't know how I'm going to manage it. 2 weeks. I want to use that music nib. The Eco, I've got other Ecos, but yeah, it's that music nib I want to get into. Kiss My, I read that second message as a bum ban. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Anita, such willpower, what a wait. It was, especially because where it was sat right next to my desk, so I could see it whenever I was sat at my desk. say fortunately it had been quite busy. Blonde Scales 1, lol. Marcy me, I received another Pelican fountain pen this evening. Anxious to share soon. Awesome. Hopefully, well, you'll be doing a video of that, so I'll be looking out on your channel for that. Blonde Scales 1, I was surprised how quickly my cult pen orders arrived. Sorry. A little bit of mouthful of ice there. Yeah, cult pens are not bad lately. Ricardo, I bet the 3776 comes with a converter if it's the newer model. It did, as I say, it did. I've got 4 preppies, so it doesn't hurt having the extra ones. Kiss my, aha, a Twisby bottle of silicone grease with a free pen. I love those. Yeah, I was redoing my repair kit. Let me just create this. I've got a new Botsman repair kit, and as part of that, I was going through them. And let me just go to the overhead cam. Oh no, it's Fari. I was going through that, and I've got there a number of bottles of silicone grease from Twisby. Let me just pop this back. Okay, Jim to Ricardo. Funny enough, my 3776 didn't come with a converter. I have one now. Yeah, I think my first 3776 didn't have a converter with it, which is what, to be honest, the reason why I added that. I couldn't see it listed anywhere that it comes with a converter. So, yeah, it's nice to have that spare. Ricardo, I knew that would be a converter there if it was made after January of 2024. Kiss my, a stub nib. Would be interesting to see how broad it is on a writing sample. Bit partial to cursive and stubs. Yeah, I like my stubs. I've been eyeing up a music nib for a while, and I finally bit the bullet. They only did it in the black material, which is fine because that gives lots of opportunity. I say I'll be recording in a couple of weeks the first impressions, and then I'll be releasing it. He says I'll quickly get into my database, and I can tell you roughly when it's scheduled to be released. Scheduled to publish it on the 23rd of this month, of April, sorry. 23rd of this month's already gone. And I'm recording it on the 8th. Why is that a Tuesday? I'm recording it on the 7th. I don't know. There must have been something going through my head when I set that up. I don't record on Tuesdays. I record on Mondays and Wednesdays. Tony, the 3776 looks elegant. Is the feed ebonite? I tried a Rialo with a music nib last month, and it was brilliant. I think it's a plastic feed. I'll have to do a bit more digging into that. And yeah, really looking forward to that music nib. Just have another mouthful of... I know it's very, very weak. I drink my cordial extremely weak. That's Fruit Cup, I think. Jim to Garry, I'll be interested in seeing the video on the clicks. Yeah, they say they should come on Monday, and then I'm spreading them out over about 3 months. I think I'm going to do one a month, releasing the first impressions on them. Andy, I honestly wouldn't buy any more pens or inks because I don't use my current ones often. I've got a platinum pre-fount that I no longer want. So what would you do in that situation? So what I do, yes, I agree with what you're saying about having enough pens. I've got, with them too, that's now 197 pens, which is a lot of pens. But what I do is because I'm just going to move that over. There we go. That's better. The comments weren't really central on the screen, and I saw it, and it was starting to annoy me. So you should have just seen that move. Yeah, so a lot of the time now I'm buying pens because, well, yeah, because I want them, but obviously because I use them to make content. And unfortunately, I'm the type of person they're my babies, so I don't let them go. I keep hold of them. What can you do with them? Loads of different options. maybe a local school would be looking for some. Or you could go onto eBay, sell them on eBay or whatever other auction platforms there are. I've seen a couple of fountain pens in op shops. So what they're called over in America, I don't know. Charity shops, maybe. So they've had them in there selling them. Or just ink it up and use it. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from fetching it into a rotation. So there's some ideas, but I say for me, I can't let go of them. They're my babies. Ricardo to Jim, as above, Platinum decided to add a converter to all pens with a code over 15,000. That's all the 3776s and above. Kiss my, if it was me, Andy, I'd go to Garry's chat and offer to give the entire collection over to that quirky Irish lad, the one with the odd handle. Yeah, there's an option. Ricardo, the feed should be plastic, but it's unique to the music nib as it has twin channels. Yeah, I don't intend to pull off the thing, but I'll see if I can look at the channels without pulling off the nib. Marcy me, so far I've decided against purchasing the Colour Vent 2025. I'll be looking forward to your reveals. I've got to be honest, I quite liked a lot of the inks in the Colour Vent ink. There's a couple which are wishy-washy, but most of them were quite nice. But again, it's new things to play with. Oh, sorry. Kiss my, worth a try? Yeah, absolutely. If you don't ask, you don't get. Blonde Scales 1. I had some Diamine inks hitch a ride from Cult Pens. Yeah, it's terrible how they managed to sneak in, isn't it? Tom, hello all. Welcome to you, Tom. And then Andy, we've got a smiley face there. Tony, hi Ricardo. Didn't think about dual channels for the music nib. Tony, a quick bit of information about Cult. They are owned by WH Smiths, a UK stationery brand. And they have just been sold to a new company. I don't know that will affect Cult worldwide. Yeah, we saw that. Was it Friday? It was announced, and it's the owner of Hobbycraft that has bought it, and they're going to rename it. But it's weird because I aren't sure, but the way the report that I read was worded, it's just the retail stores on the high streets that have been sold. The WH Smith stores at airports and stuff like that, they're staying with WH Smiths. So that's going to be interesting. I didn't see anything about Cult Pens. So whether they're staying or being moved over as part of the stores, I've got no idea. Hopefully it shouldn't affect them. Hopefully they'll carry on as they are. So I think they operate more or less as a standalone company within the WH Smith group. Ricardo to Tony, thanks for the info. I didn't know they were owned by WH Smiths. Blonde Skills 1. I did notice that free shipping to the US had gone down from last year. To Australia, it's gone up. Because I was looking the other week. I've got my next pen purchase planned. And I was looking and I thought, obviously I looked at the shipping from all of these and I thought, yeah, that's gone up. David to Tom, hey my friend, how you doing? Jim, I have a Winsung 930 on order. Anybody try one yet? No, I've not been buying as many Chinese pens lately. We have been having Chinese pens come into the house, but then Elaine takes them, so they're being held for my Inky countdown this year. I'm just not sure. I try not to pay too much attention to what comes in when it's a pen that's not been ordered by me. I try to be as good as I can. Tom, to David, doing great, and yourself? Jim, my 930 is currently shipping. Blonde Skills 1, this will be to Andy. Penable a friend. Yep, find a friend. Give them a pen which is full of ink. And get them hooked. Ricardo, to good evening. Anita, seen the Junlai 930, a big boy. Yeah, I think Junlai is the Chinese version or Chinese name for Wing Sun, something like that. Matthew, welcome to you, Matthew. Aye, Captain. Tony, I've ordered 2 pens this week. A limited edition Anoto Scholar and the new Ferrari Yellow Caveco Spirit. Closest to the Mont Blanc I will get. I'm trying to think. Anoto. That's a British British brand. Penultimate Div seems to have a lot of those. David, doing well. Check out Discard. New pen in the family. David, to Jim, please give us a report on the Wing Sun after you get it. Blonde Scales 1 was $200 to get it last year. Only had to hit $160 for the last order. That's a big difference, isn't it? I mean, that's what? 5% less? 10% less? Something like that. Really thirsty today. So, one of the things I've been doing this week, just before we go over to look at the pens, is I've started planning for my next fountain pen tournament. So this is, I actually did 2 last year. I'm only going to do the 1 this year. So the second one I did last year, that's where I did 3 lots of 3 heats. So that was 27 pens in total at the start. Going to repeat that this year. I think that worked really well. The last one, the first 3 heats were all Chinese pens. The next 3 were pens, I think, under 100 Aussie dollars that weren't Chinese. And the last one, pens over 100 Aussie dollars, again, that weren't Chinese. I liked how that worked. But what I'm trying to do, and this is where I'd like to get a little bit of input, I'm trying to think of how to theme this year. So my first option is obviously repeating that because I think the spread worked well. But what I would do is the non-Chinese pens, the cut-off, I would actually change to be 150 Aussie dollars. Purely because of the way that pens have gone up in price. The other one I'm thinking of doing, and I can't decide yet, is working out when I last used all my pens, and then actually doing the heats and theming it around lesser used pens. So maybe pens that I used in the last 3 months, pens that I used between 3 months and say a year, and pens that were over a year, or something like that. I'd just love to get your ideas. What do you think of those? Is there some other theming you think I can use? So it'll be 3 heats of 3 pens in each heat, and then I say that'll be 9 videos in total. Then each of those will go into a semi-final. So that we'll have 3 heats, 3 semi-finals, each with 3 pens, and then the final will be 3 pens. I start recording this, assuming nothing changes. My plan is to start recording it on the 24th of April. But the first video, I think it's about the 1st of July, I've got scheduled for the first video to go out. Kiss Mine, waiting on a pilot capitalist here. Tuesday's new pen day. Wednesday to Wednesday is bugger off, he's with his new pen week. I love that idea. Yeah, I should try that with a wife. Don't disturb me, dear. I've got a new pen. Yeah, I can imagine how that'll go down. Okay, let's head on over for the pen of the week. Well, that's a shame that wasn't on camera because I was bouncing my stool over as I normally do, and it was tipping over too far, and I was nearly on the floor. Good job you didn't see that, because I think there'd have been a lot of laughter. Anyway, pens for the week ending the 29th, and we're starting with a pen of the week. I've got this on there because I say I've got my desk fan on. I don't want the paper blowing away. So the pen of the week was the Diplomat Aero. This is in the factory finish. I haven't used this pen for ages, so it's nice having this out. Cartridge converter, nearly empty, so this will be going out for a clean. And on here we've got that broad nib. So we've got a Diplomat, Aero. with a broad nib. Price wise, you're looking roughly 370 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Colourverse and it's white hull. I quite like the ink. It's a bit too pale. That's the only problem. Not too bad on this. This is Midori MD cotton pad. But on the paper that I've been using for doing my quotes, sorry, well, look, my brain's gone. So the paper I've been using for my quotes, that's got a grey background and it's very hard to see on there. When I take my photos to do my video, it's actually not too bad. On here, coming off the camera, it's not too bad, but to the eye, it's very, very pale. So that's the pen of the week. So this week's pens. First pen, I'll just move that out of the way for a second. The first pen from Retro 51. This is a Tornado model. This is the Abraham Lincoln, or the Lincoln version. Nice copper material. As you can see here, we're getting some black striations now as I'm using it. I don't use this very often, which is a shame because I've really been enjoying it. I think the problem has been in the past is I've tended to try and use a shimmer ink in here. And it's one of my pens that just does not get on with the shimmer ink. It blocks all the time. With this ink I've got in here, which is just a standard ink. Sorry. It's a standard ink, not had any issues. So much so, I've actually refilled it yesterday. Now, I'm just pushing that down. One of the things that does happen with this, the converter easily loosens off, so I reconnect it quite often. Can you hear the squeak? Here we've got the Retro 51 nib on there. So we've got a Retro 51 Tornado. As you can mostly tell, we've got a stub nib on there, 1.1. Price wise, you're looking roughly 119 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine and it's Raspberry Rose. Raspberry Rose. I love this. It's a really nice ink and I really like the combination. Now on here and on most of my nice papers, I don't know if you can see here where I've got retro, it looks like there's a green sheen to it, but that as I write that very quickly fades. So don't know, maybe it's something left over from a previous ink, but I generally do clean my pens out really thoroughly. But it's just interesting, and it only happens on the first word when I've not used it for a little bit. Just fetch that back in. There we go. So that's the Retro 51 Tornado. Up next, from Conklin, we've got a Conklin All-American. This is a Courage model, and this is the Red Courage. This was a gift from a viewer. Very much appreciate it when people send me stuff. Cartridge converter. There you go. I love this material. It's translucent. And then with a nice white there. Quite a nice looking pen. We've got here a Conklin nib. And it's a black Conklin nib. So we've got a Conklin All-American with a broad nib. Price wise, you're looking roughly 194 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Colourverse and it's Pulsar Pulse. Beautiful, like a darker turquoisey blue ink, and got a gorgeous red sheen to it as well. So that's the Conklin All-American. From Narwhal, we've got the Narwhal 365. This is in Jonathan Brooks Primary Manipulation 3.5. Really nice. Piston filling pen. I have had issues with this piston mechanism. About a year ago when I was undoing it, the whole thing just came out. I've got it in, but it doesn't seem to want to go in fully. But it's in, it's enough, it's sealed. And on here, I've swapped the nib. This is a Yoho nib, bought from Goulet Pens. So we've got here a Narwhal 365 with a broad nib. Price wise, you're looking approximately 241 Aussie dollars. And the ink is by Diamine. And it's Grotto. Nice sheening ink, one of the extreme sheen inks from last year's Ink Vent calendar. So that's a Narwhal 365. Change the price now. We're going to the Cross Bailey Light. This is in this beautiful grey colour. I'm saying beautiful because it's so flexible. I can use any colour ink I want. The cap pulls off. I have to remember that because I keep trying to unscrew it. And I end up unscrewing the section. Not a lot of ink left in here. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with this. Whether I'm going to put the same ink back in or clean it out and put a different ink into it. I'm just not certain at the moment. I like the ink in here. It's quite nice, but it'd be nice to play around a little bit. Then we've got that nib there. Fairly small looking nib. Maybe number 5-ish nib. So we've got a Cross Bailey Light with a medium nib. Price wise, about 38 Aussie dollars. As I said, bit of a price difference. The ink is by Colourverse. And it's Eclipse Silence. Was anybody able to see the partial eclipse? Was it this morning or yesterday morning? Sometime in the last little thing. And I can't remember where it was. I was watching some on Tiki Toki, and they were saying where they were, it was happening at sunrise. So you actually had the eclipse happening at sunrise. There we go. That's a Cross Bailey Light. Next up, from Narwhal. I know it's another Narwhal, but can you guess my theme yet for the month? There was a reason for it. It's covered in the video when I'm introducing the pens. This is the Schuylkill in Paw Peter Navy. You've got loads of different colours in this. It's another piston filling pen. We've got a nice ink window. This one, it's got the Narwhal nib that came with it. Nice fit in the hand, this. So we've got here a Narwhal Schuylkill. It's got a medium nib on it. He says, not looking at his notes, yes, it's got a medium nib. And the price is approximately 102 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Walnut. A nice brown ink into what is predominantly a blue looking pen, but there are hints of brown in it. Again, I cover that in the video. So that's a Narwhal Schuylkill. Just have a quick mouthful of water before we look at the last pen. And then the final pen. This is the Monteverde Ritmer. Fairly weighty pen. It's a metal pen. Cartridge converter. Again, another one getting fairly low. This one, I may keep the same ink in it. I may fill it with the same ink because I like the combo and I'm quite enjoying this ink. The cap is magnetic, so hopefully you can see that. It says very wide section, metal section. I don't know how I've managed to get this staining down at the bottom. I'll have another clean off of that. But I don't know why. It might be something I've got in the cap, maybe. And on here, we've got the black nib that came with it. So we've got here a Monteverde Ritmer with a broad nib. Price-wise, you're looking approximately 103 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine. And it's Black Ivy. It's a very dark ink, but it has a beautiful dark green sheen to it. Let's see if I can hold this up. It might not have been... Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, it's got a red sheen to it. It's a dark green ink. Look, just try out that Pulsar Pulse. Can we see any of that sheen there? On the Grotto, not seeing much sheen at all on this paper. The Eclipse Sunrise also has a sheen. And the Ritma should have a red sheen. Not seeing it, though. This is one of the things I'm finding with this paper. I may actually swap the paper because this isn't showing a lot of the ink properties very well. Let's bounce on over and see if I can bounce on over without falling over. So back to the comments. Holy crap, I've been abducted. I've just lost an hour. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? I mean, it's one of the nice things living here in WA. We don't have daylight savings time, so we don't have to worry about it. I know I'm bragging. Tom, wow, to David. Tony, next Garry Live is going to be a late one for us. Western Australia doesn't have summertime change. At least it will get us awake for the Japanese Formula 1, yeah. So that'll be, what, 1:30 in the morning, I think, now in the UK. Blonde Scales 1, the joy of time changes, absolutely. Ricardo to Kiss My, you're not the only one. It was 00:59 a few minutes ago, and now it's 02:06. Yeah, we do have to remember when we're calling family now. So, like my wife normally calls her brother on a Sunday. So, the past few months it's been at 5 p.m. So, just as I've been getting dinner prepared and cooking dinner. Tonight it's going to be at 4 p.m. So, yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to remembering the time change. Ricardo, lol. Then we got David with a smiley and a thumbs up. Kiss My, yeah, Tony, I'll be making a pilgrimage though. For here and the Japanese GP, FP and F1 addicts united we stand, and usually fall asleep shortly thereafter. When I was younger, I used to watch the Formula 1. I don't anymore. It just didn't attract me now. I have been to a Formula 1 Grand Prix. That was a fair few years ago when we lived in Melbourne. I was lucky enough with where I worked at the time. I got invited to a corporate box on the Saturday. Absolutely brilliant. Loads of wine. That was the main reason for going. Loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of wine. It was interesting, but what I found with it, you know, you would stand there watching the track for ages and ages, and then you go zoom, and then you were back to standing and watching an empty track. But very, very worthwhile experience. Blonde Skills 1, now you've caught up to the US. Tony, Kiss My, and a driver swap within Red Bull again. Kiss My, can we blame X and Facebook for some of the Time Warp conspiracy to reset the Matrix? That sounded better in my head. Yeah, definitely blame X. Kiss My, Lawson's Uber. Ricardo, I feel sorry for those young drivers that have to go through such a tough team. Tony, Garry, I've got a pen ready for you and the Conklin nib unit. I'm just waiting for a better nib for the turned pen. Brilliant. Oh, thank you so much, Tony. I very much appreciated that. Kiss My, the ink window on the narwhal looks good in fairness. Not sold on the rounded ends, though. Yeah, I do prefer this version than the normal Nautilus with them little like portholes. I struggle to use them with that Nautilus. Oh, that 365. It's very nice. Kiss My, agreed. Poor Liam didn't make it to the end of dinner. Never mind coming up for a nightcap. Mr. Inky Fingers, I have to try that Diamine Walnut. Yeah, it's quite nice. I've been quite enjoying that. Starts off when I start writing a bit dark when it's been left a bit, but it soon evens out and it's quite nice. I haven't got it in my Tomo River paper yet. Tony to Mr. Ink Fingers, if you like dark browns, the Diamine Espresso is lovely. And Jim, Diamine Chocolate Brown is a pretty dark brown. Mr. Inky Fingers will do. Thanks for the recommendations. And Tony, thanks, Jim. Not tried that one. I think I've got chocolate brown. I've got a number of Diamine brown inks. Amazed me when I first got back in it just over 4 years ago. If you'd have said to me I liked brown inks, I'd have told you all sorts of names. But I really love brown inks nowadays. Let's head over to Death by PowerPoint. So last week's videos. On Monday we had the yeah, it is right, the Faber-Castell Hexo versus the Lamy Safari. Really pleased with that, got lots of comments. And then what I noticed a couple of days later, now obviously they would have been recording before this even went out, but a couple of days later there was a couple of other YouTubers also reviewing the Faber-Castell Hexo. I just thought that was very, very coincidental. Wednesday, we had 5 pens under 10 Aussie dollars. That video I filmed in about September. It's been sat there ages and ages. I was glad to get that out. It was just an interesting one I was trying. You know, you don't need to use expensive pens. Although they are nice to use expensive pens, I will add that. Friday, we had 5 European pens. And I tried to use pens that I haven't used for quite a while. Which again was nice, getting some pens that I haven't been using. And what I'm going to do going forward when I do my 5 pens, which I'm trying to do at least one a month, is try and use the least frequently used pens. So coming up on Monday, my Monday, which is tomorrow, we've got the March 2025 wrap-ups. So how I went this month with my pens, and that's where I rank them. Wednesday, we'll be taking a look at my pens in use for April. Did you guess the theme? The theme this for April, I'm calling the US month. So these are where the company that makes them is based in the US. Doesn't mean the pens are made in the US, just the company that sells them or manufactures them, they're based in the US. And then Friday, we're going to have an ink comparison, and it's a comparison that was requested by a viewer. Then coming up on Saturday, there's a members-only video, which will be a Ask Me Anything, where there's 3 questions. I'm going to be recording it after I finish this live. So the 3 questions have been picked. So I'll be answering 3 different questions on there. And my books, the books of the week. So I started the week with Terry Pratchett's Strata, one of his first novels. And in this, he was playing around with the idea of a disc world. Not the disc world we know and love, but it was how he was starting to form his ideas. To me, this was more of a sci-fi book than a fantasy book. It was still quite enjoyable. I think I got through it in 2 days. It was pleasant. It was a nice light read. I then started Terry Goodkind, The Heart of Black Ice. This is the last of the Nicky Chronicles. I'm about halfway through that now. I'm a bit wondering, because it's the last, I know it's the last in the series, and there's an awful lot going on, and all the characters are still spread really all over the place, and there's different antagonists that are still active. And I'm just wondering, in half a book, how he's going to wrap up this 4-book series. So quite interested to see how that goes. But yes, certainly enjoying it, and hopefully we'll start seeing some of the threads come together now. So let's head on back to the camera. Let's get out of there. Marcy Me, Pilot Urashizuku Yamaguri is also a delightful walnut-coloured ink. David, when is the Zoom, or did I miss it again? The next Zoom is scheduled for, he says, getting into the calendar. Is it coming up on here yet? Let me 1 second. I've just got to get into the right area. March, April is April the 19th. So what I'll be doing, I'll do a short members video, which will go out a couple of days before that, and a members only community post, and in both of those we'll have all the details. David Zoom. Tony, regarding 5 pens under $10, I've got an unbranded Chinese pen that writes better than my 3776, and it was £5. Absolutely. I've got a load of dirt cheap pens which write beautifully. And as I say quite often, the pen, it's a tool, and it's there to allow you to get ideas out of your head and onto paper in a way that you enjoy. If you enjoy it using a $5 pen, all well and good. Use that $5 pen. You know, as long as it's doing the job, it doesn't matter. Let me refresh the comments. Ooh, another quick one by the look of it. So that's all the comments. I'll come back after I've done my normal wrap up. So thank you all for your time. I love doing these. Please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Just helps with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget, membership is available. With membership, you get access to the normal videos a couple of days early. And then we've got this Ask Me Anything, which is once a month. And then once a month, we've got a members Zoom call. And I keep thinking, I haven't added anything in extra yet, but I keep thinking about, are there other things I can do to add, a little bit more for members? So membership is available. Everything that comes through from membership and from the YouTube ads, that all goes back into the channel. The pens that I unboxed earlier were all bought through channel funds, so it does help me to grow the channel. I've done the thumbs up bit. If you haven't already, please comment. Please add to the chat. If you're watching after the live, just go ahead, add to the comments. I love to get comments. I love to chat through them. It's just a nice way to try and engage with each other. We have got that Discord server. I should pump that a bit more often. The Discord link is, he says, is in most of my videos. I know, I'm going to cheat here. Inside the description of the videos, you'll find there links to my Discord channel. So go ahead and check that out as well. Join in the chat there. So I post each day. I post my EDC video. I posted an interesting photo yesterday. We were just heading out to go shopping. We're just getting in the car, and this horse went trotting by. First time I've seen a horse go trotting by, so that was quite interesting. Heading back to the comments. So Blonscales 1, have a great week all. Ricardo, thanks Gary. Gents and ladies, have a great week. And to you, Ricardo, even though you try and travel tonight. Thank you all. I'll leave the comments open whilst the outro plays, and I'll talk to you again soon.